From years of anxiety to warrior and mentor, Bradley Robinson created the Anxiety Project to help you end your anxiety naturally. Let's mold the new you and let's end anxiety together.
Hey everyone, welcome to another episode of the Anxiety Project podcast. I am Brad Robinson here with you today, and this one is number 34. Thank you so much for tuning in. And this episode is on anxiety and uncertainty. Now, you continue to listen to this podcast because you value yourself. The unconscious only wants the best for you. And what do I mean by that? The unconscious only wants the best for you. How do you know? Well, do you ever find yourself captivated by a piece of art, a movie that just draws you in, just completely inspires you? Or you watch YouTube videos of these powerful and motivated speakers, right? These motivational speakers who just speak the truth, who speak wisdom and from their hearts, and you get so captivated and motivated, and your whole entire state changes within that moment when you watch these people just talk about this truth, and there's something inside of you that just grabs onto it. And that's what I mean by the unconscious. It wants to change. And it's not just wanting to change, it's that there's something that you could be that you're not. And that's what it is. The feeling and the desire to be someone out of your reach that you are currently not being. And that's what I mean by the unconscious wanting to be better and wanting the best for you. It's those moments where you just get so captivated by a piece of film or artwork and you just feel differently. You're like, you know what? I can be more than I am right now. And that's the unconscious. And and not just that, but that's why your unconscious continues to bring up emotional memories. For instance, you resolve an emotional memory using reframing exercises or in a meditation form or through rational thoughts. You get rid of a memory that's been bugging you, that's been really, really on your mind and within the unconscious, but you realize once you resolve that memory, another one pops up and you're like, what the heck? I just can't seem to get any control. But the reason why another memory pops up, it's because the unconscious mind is telling you that there's this you need to deal with as well. So a lot of people, when that happens, they push it back down because like, oh, I resolved this issue. I don't want to deal with that now. I want to push it back down and resolve that another time. But the thing is that we have to pay attention to these memories that pop back up. When they pop back up, it's a signal. It's a message from your unconscious saying, you have to deal with this, or I'm just going to hold on to this emotional memory. I'm just going to hold on to this energy. And that energy is being stored within your body. And you don't want to hold on to that stuff because it manifests. You are constantly being pushed out of your consciousness and into an emotional state, which is that energy from a past emotional experience that bothered you or it had an imprint on you. And to release that energetic weight, not only through reframing exercises or rational thought, it's also through your habits, exercise, and it's how you deal with your body. And it's really, when people say your body's a temple, and it's absolutely true, because our bodies hold these parts, these energetic parts that are stored, and these parts are memories, emotional memories that we have not dealt with. So anxiety is an overactivated amygdala reacting to a perceived danger. So you might have unconsciously paired something in your environment as dangerous, and you overreacted to that perceived threat. Now your amygdala, which is the fight, flight, and freeze response, it's on high alert, trying to keep you safe. And by doing so, it erases sensations, okay? And not erases, sorry. It brings about sensations. It doesn't erase sensations. It actually activates a lot of sensations within the body that resemble health concerns, such as tingling in the hands and feet, numbness in the arms, dizziness, lightheadedness, nausea, headaches, lump in the throat sensation, back pain. And they are only a natural response. They are just a natural response. So we perceive these sensations as life-threatening, and a lot of people end up in the emergency room because of their perceptions over these sensations. They don't know what's going on. They think they're having a heart attack because their heart skips a beat, or they have chest pains, the tingling in the hands. People get confused, and that's why they end up in the emergency room. And it's that uncertainty. That's the uncertainty that people fear most, is, their health. Oh my God, am I going to die of a heart attack right now? Oh my God, what if I faint right now? Oh my God, what if there's something seriously wrong with my heart? And then they start picturing these images in their minds, having cancer, having a disease, having something seriously wrong with their heart. And then that just spirals, it snowballs. They start homing in on it. They start paying attention to it. And that's crucial to understand, paying attention to that sensation, drawing up that imagery. And what happens when you keep that imagery alive in your mind? When you give that imagery such great emotion, when you give that imagery great emotion, you're going to keep it alive. You're going to keep the sensation alive, because you're homing in all of your energy onto that one particular thing. For instance, I'll give you an example. When I was concerned about my kidneys, I had nothing wrong with them, but at the time I thought I did. And I had this pain in my right side, and every day I was paying attention to it. So where focus goes, energy flows. That's important to understand. Where focus goes, your energy flows. So my energy was flowing right down to that part of me, my right side, that pain. And I was keeping it alive. All of my energy was going right to it. I woke up and I was paying attention to it. And, I was going to bed and I was paying attention to it. And that's the uncertainty. I was uncertain. And even though my doctor was like, Brad, you have nothing wrong. We did some tests, and you're healthy and you're good. And I was like, no, I don't believe you, because I feel it. I feel it, and it has to be something. I Googled it, and I ingrained this strong belief around that sensation. It's just a strong belief. And I was just holding on to that part. And all my energy was just flowing to that one part. And I was just keeping it alive myself. And what happened was I was doing exercises where I was changing my belief around that part and using cognitive behavioral therapy to get my mind off of it. And eventually it went away because I stopped giving it attention. And that was a huge breakthrough for me. But it's the uncertainty. And anxiety sufferers, they're always fearing uncertainty. Am I going to embarrass myself if I go to that shopping mall or that business meeting? Because what if this happens? What if that happens? What if I faint? What if I have to leave because my head is hurting me, or I feel nausea and I have to throw up, or whatever it is? It's that uncertainty. What if this happens? And it's usually catastrophic thoughts. So that's the uncertainty. And breaking down uncertainty, it's really, it's the chaos, and when it comes to uncertainty, anxiety sufferers don't know how to take care of themselves in that chaos. And that's really important to understand. That's why I talk a lot about new habits like meditations in the morning, exercise, eating properly, getting enough rest. And these are all parts, going for walks, getting in touch with nature, reading, getting out of your comfort zone, and journaling. All of these things are tools. These tools provided me with much, much, much more order in my life. And these tools helped me handle the chaos. Because if you decide, I'm just going to wake up, run out the door, go handle it, that is not the way to go. You don't have the tools. You're not preparing yourself for battle. You're not preparing yourself. You need to prepare yourself. All of these motivational speakers and successful people that you look up to, or your unconscious looks up to, they all have structure in their lives. They have routines that they know will benefit their performance, whether it's acting, or they're giving a speech, or they're giving a presentation, or they just want to do a good job at their job. They have order and more structure. They know how to prepare, and they know how to organize themselves. And that's crucial. Once I started to meditate and write in my journal every day and have that time to mentally prepare, my days were so much better. I had more tools to handle the chaos that was to come. If I was fearing a panic attack in the day, or a certain meeting, or a certain event, or a dinner with friends, or, it doesn't matter. I knew what I had to do. I knew I had to mentally prepare, do some visualization exercises, because when you visualize how you want the day to go, and you disassociate yourself and envision the you that you want, going through the motions, going through the day, then that speaks directly to your unconscious, because the unconscious recognizes and only understands imagery and emotions. So the more emotions you provide that mental exercise with, the more you're going to get out of it, the more it's going to ingrain within your unconscious. You're just telling your unconscious mind what you want. And your unconscious will be like, yeah, this is what he wants, or she. This is what she wants. And that's the tools. Just like going with it, and just waking up and just going with it is not the way to go at all. It's not. You got to prepare. You got to have the tools. You have to arm yourself. You don't go into a cave without a sword and a shield and body armor, would you? Back in the medieval days, if you're like, okay, King Arthur and his men, you're at the round table, and they're all putting on their armor, their shields, their swords, preparing themselves mentally as well, organizing what they're going to do. And you're like, no, I'm just going to go with it. And you don't put on your body armor. You don't put on your sword and shield. Would you? No, you wouldn't. You'd be like, I'm going to put on all this armor and prepare and practice. And that's what it is about when overcoming anxiety. You don't just go with it. You don't just wake up and just go with the flow. You prepare yourself. You mentally prepare. You meditate. You write in your journal. What do you really want? What do you want? What do you want to? What's your outcome for today? That's a better way of putting it. What's your outcome? And how are you going to feel when you get back home after you've conquered the day to the best of your ability? How are you going to feel once you get back home? And that feeling is going right to your unconscious, because that's how you really want to be and feel. So it does take 21 days to run on a new habit. It does take 21 days to run on a new habit. So start every day. So how do you do it? How do you move forward and overcome this anxiety you're currently facing? Implement new habits every day. You might find that there's a lot of resistance when you start implementing new habits, but as you go, you kind of tweak it to how you like it. For instance, I'll give you an example. With meditation, for me, I was listening to a lot of guided meditations, and there's many mornings where, I was listening to meditations that didn't really do it for me. So I would switch it up and find another meditation. So I collected on this app, Insight Timer. When I downloaded this app, I saved meditations that really spoke to me, that really affected me, that really impacted my day. So it's just about trial and error. And to stick with it, it's important that you do. To stick with it, you need to just force yourself to do it. If I don't meditate today, then, I'm just going back to my old self. You don't want to go back to your old self. You want to move towards your role models. You want to move towards a better you, a more empowering you. So do it every day. Start those routines. Give yourself time in the morning. Oh, Brad, I don't have that time in the morning to do all that. Well, you're going to end up facing failure, and you're going to continue to run on anxiety. You're not going to better yourself. I was working 16-hour days in the film industry. At this time, I was going through my anxiety recovery. There's not one day where I missed my morning routine. There was not one day. I woke up tired. I still did it because I didn't want to go back to my old self. I woke up at 5. I woke up at 5 a.m., meditated for 20 minutes, including journaling. So 20 minutes. I shortened it a bit. Usually my morning routine was half an hour, but I had to work with what I got. I was working 16-hour days. I woke up and I did the journaling for about 5 minutes. I meditated for about 15, did a few stretches, total 20 minutes. Then I got ready and went out the door. I always did that. I did it because I didn't want to go back to my old anxious self. I was on the road to a new me. And that's where I'm going to leave it today. Thank you so much for tuning in. Thank you for all the love and support. I really appreciate it. If you haven't already, I have the Facebook community, so check that out. I'm on Facebook, The Anxiety Project. I'm on Instagram. Go to unpluganxiety.com for one-on-one coaching, and subscribe to the YouTube channel where I post not only the podcast, but videos as well, meditations, as well as videos of myself where I talk about anxiety recovery. Once again, thank you so much. Do not let anxiety define who you are. I will see you on the next podcast episode. Bye, everyone. For more podcast episodes, for more video content, and one-on-one coaching with me via Skype, visit www.unpluganxiety.com for everything you need to know about ending anxiety naturally. I love you all. Have a great day. Bye-bye.